Good morning. Today we are going to start our next lecture. In this lecture, we will talk about uh, resources and configurations of program organization units, about features of application programs in PLC, and we will discuss about some new objects as we call actions. So let's start. First of all, we need to speak about application program. The application program, we know, as we said in our last lessons, it's logical assembly of all the programming language elements and constructs necessary for the intended signal processing required for the control of a machine or process by a PLC system. Generating the application program. Yes, we will talk about how can we generate the application program. The application program may be entered via alphanumeric or symbolic keyboards, and when menu-driven displays are, or a graphical program entry is used via cursor keys, mouse, etc. All program and data entries are generally checked for validity and internal consistency in such a way that the entry of incorrect programs and data is minimized. So next will be about displaying the application program. During application program generation, all instructions are displayed immediately, statement by statement or segment by segment. In the case of a monitor or other large display. In addition, the complete program can generally be printed. If alternative representation of programming language elements is available, then the display representation is generally user selectable. About loading the application program. The generated program resides either in the memory of the programmable controller or in the memory of the programming and debugging tool. The latter requires a program transfer via download or memory cartridge insertion into the PLC before startup. So let's talk about basic functional structures of PLC system. On this picture we can see a functional structure of controller. This structure contains power supply function for whole controller, communication function. It also contains human-machine interface function, programming, debugging, and testing functions, signal processing functions, which contain application program functions, and interface functions to sensors and actuators. Also, this structure can be tested by operator and application programmer. So let's talk about application program features. A program is defined in standard as a logical assembly of all the programming language elements and constructs necessary for the intended signal processing required for the control of a machine or process by a programmable controller system. Functions and function blocks within a program are able to exchange data through software connections. A program can be written in any of the defined programming languages. A program can also read and write to input-output variables and communicate with other programs. The execution of different parts of program, for example, selected function blocks, may be controlled using tasks. Application program execution and I/O control. PLC application programs can be started either from an initial state or from the state they were in at the time they were stopped. The PLC application program in a PLC system consists of one configuration and zero, one or more resources according to standard. Configurations and resources may be started and stopped. The resources are started and stopped when the configuration is started or stopped, and they can be started or stopped independently of the configuration. At the time the application program state is changed, the outputs can be directed to either be set to implement the specified states, hold the outputs in the current state, set all outputs to zero, or change some outputs to user-specified states through an implements a specified mechanism. The inputs associated with a running application program can be directed to either provide the actual data from the sensors or to continue to use previously supplied values. So it was the additional information about application program features, and next part of lesson we will talk about actions which we can use in our PLC programs. So when writing the application program, we use the main pole, functional blocks and functions that are separately declared. But when writing programs, we can use special additional type of poles which we call actions. Actions allow us to divide the main pole into separate sections that can use all the variables of the main pole. This is a fairly convenient way to write a program. Yes, this is the very convenient way, as we can see from the pictures below. Actions are declared in the main program body, but are hidden from the main sections from the program. Another important feature of actions is the ability to write them in different languages. The language of their writing may differ from the language of the main pole. Yes, this is the main feature that can we use writing a PLC application programs. So let's talk about declaration of actions, and we will show how can we declare the actions from the next picture. This picture is a fragment of Codices programming tool. As we see, we have some poles in our pole trees. So if we need to add some actions, we just use command add action. This is the command add actions. As we said, our pole, in this case the PLC PLG poll will be separated to some actions. In the next picture, we can see how can we use in other languages and how can we give a name for the action within PLC PLG program within the poll. So as we said, we can use different type of language for our action, which can be different from main language of this poll. This is the very important feature of actions. So as we see, the PLC PLG program, this poll contains new action. So this is the main information about actions and information about some features of our application program. I hope that this information was useful. So thank you. Goodbye.